So hey guys, it's Doug here. Doug, Mr. Guy on Board Game Geek, if you didn't already know. Probably do. Anyway, I got a treat, and it's a treat for me, and I'm going to talk about it before I get into it. Do a quick little playthrough, run-through of this game, but I'm a huge fan of the Dresden Files, series of books about how he starts as a detective who's a wizard in Chicago, real wizard, that's part of the supernatural world, and it's a very, very cool game. And today, well, not today, but I did get my copy of the Dresden Files Cooperative Card game. I've played it, solo played it myself a couple times now, and here's what I'm going to say about it. I'm going to start off with, I'm going to show you the game, let you, of course, always make your own assessment of whether you like it or not. But one of the things I'll tell you is that as a fan, you'll enjoy the cards and what they say on them, and you'll get it, and it'll flow a story. I'm going to let you judge for yourself, but if I didn't know the books, I don't know. You have to judge the game on whether or not it's just a good game. Because while it is very thematic, it doesn't explain the themes of what's happening. So, like for example, in the very first one, you're playing the first book, which is called Stormfront, and you have this this showdown that you have to overcome, and there's a series of cards that you have to deal with, and you're playing as the major characters, like good old, gotta get him in camera, Harry Dresden, yep, and people like Karen Carpenter, Karen Murphy, who's an awesome character, and one of my favorites, which I meant to say, Michael Carpenter. Anyway, and a whole bunch more. And you're going through, you can run it through a campaign going through each of the books, and each of the books has its own cards and showdown that you have to overcome. So I'm going to show you how it plays, but again, my first thought is, if I'm being a fan, I like it. I like it because I wish there were more Dresden Files books. In fact, I wish that TV series they tried to do on Sci-Fi a long time ago never came out, and HBO or Showtime or somebody picked it up and did it right. Like, it's kind of an adult-themed book. It's great adventures, but I think there's 15 books in it now. I can't remember. I've read them all. There's another one coming, and I can't wait to read it as well. But I thought I'd show you the game. So let's get to the table, and I'll tell you how it plays, and we'll go through it, and then we can discuss it in the end and in the forums. So let's go to the table. Alright guys, so here is the board for the Dresden Files Cooperative Card Game. And I'm going to go over some of the cards with you. I'm just going to do the playthrough. You know, I think I could go over some. I'll go with basics of the rules, but I think I just want to play and show you what it looks like. Anyway, here's the board, and we have to, you know, these are range markers here that give us a range on how we can defeat these things. And there's several types of cards in play. There are investigations that we can do. There are foes we can fight. There are advantages that we can take. And there are obstacles that we can overcome. And all of these ones in this group here pertain to the book Stormfront, where in the story Harry has to investigate a series of murders where someone's ripping somebody's heart out. And see, in the cards you really don't you don't get that, but that's okay. If you're a fan of Harry Dresden, you're going to see these cards, and you know that you have to uncover who is the Shadow Man investigation before you can actually attack the Shadow or Kalshazak, the Toad Demon, who happens to be in the slot 1, which that's another aspect of the game, is where these things fall randomly actually makes the game either harder or easier depending on the scenario. So how we do this is we manage these fate point pool. There's 8 to start in the pool, and we got some more we can get, and then we can add wounds and investigation to these cards. And we're going to have a set of 7 cards that we get to play with our characters. And I'm going to do a 3-player game using Harry Dresden, the Wizard PI, the Detective, Karen Murphy, and the Holy Knight of the Cross, Michael Carpenter, with his sword Amaracus, which is basically it's a sword of faith, and it has one of the nails that was used in the crucifixion of Jesus in it to power its faith. It's really cool. Anyway, let's look at the characters real quick. You've seen the board. Okay, so here are our characters. We have Harry Dresden, and again, as I said, we're going to shuffle these up and take a set of cards. Harry's got 2 player cards. One is his stunt, and the other one is his talent. And this board game is actually loosely based on Fate, which uses these fudge dice to Fate, the role-playing game, which also is what's used to play the Harry Dresden role-playing game, the Dresden Files. So I'm going to shuffle up and just draw his 7 cards out so we can see what they look like. But as I was saying, he has a talent and a stunt. And the talent says when you discard for fate points, and I'll show you what that means, you may move 1 obstacle or advantage card forward or backward in space. And it's very, very good. That's a very tactical thing that needs to happen. And then his blasting rod, which is one of his powerful magic items. As your turn, flip this card over to add 4 hits to any one foe that will be defeated by 1 to 4 hits. So if he can use that to basically create a killing blow on the creature. By the way, I'm going to tell you, this game is really hard to win. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There we go. It took me a while to get 7. And I'm going to talk about his cards real quick. So here is an advantage card. You see the symbol here. It'll also match the color, and well, it doesn't always match the symbol will always match, and the colors don't always match. But anyway, I can do a number of things with this card. So I can. There's some glare on it. Let me get. There you go. Okay. Let me move over because there's not so much glare. I'm nearer to the light right now. Okay. So let's take a look at this card again. All right, so basically what you have is you have this fate point. Now, that is the cost to play this card, as well as if I were to discard this, I would get that many fate from this part, from the spent part to the earned part. And this is his Ventus Servatus thing. It's a shield that he has. And it says take 1 advantage at range 1. So, for example, this beer at max, if I were able to move this advantage up 1, he would be able to take it from that row. And you know that he can discard a card when he gains fate to move something like this or these obstacles closer to the range. Okay, that's one example. This is an investigation card. Now, what's different about these is these can be played to put investigation points on the cards that you're investigating. And all the cards have different special effects and everything like that. What this means here is that if I play this card, it's going to cost me 5 fate. It's going to give me 5 clues, but I'm also going to roll 2 dice, and these dice have a nothing, a null, a minus, and a plus. If I get the pluses, then I'm going to get to add. If I get the minuses, I'll get to subtract. So this could be up to 7 clue points in one go, but it is, again, only range 1. So that gives you an example. Now, to show you how that might work, if I go after this card here, is Marcone involved? It's a case from Stormfront. It shows this A symbol, which means they kind of follow progression. You can see that on the card. It's pretty interesting. It says when solved, the active player must discard an attack card. So that actually has a negative effect when I solve it, which is not necessarily good. And here's the other the connected card right here. It says when defeated, remove 2 clues from is Marcone involved. So you don't have to solve that one right away. It actually helps. If you defeat Marcone's goons, you don't get the information you need. Give you an example. Okay, what are some of the other cards? Well, here's an attack card, and it works the same way as the investigate card. You can always know the attack cards are always red, and they always have this symbol. And again, some of them have special abilities. This one has special. You can see it right there. When he hits, it says add 2 hits to all foes in the row. So it would hit everything here. Now, Kalshazak, the Toad Demon, we can't actually hit him until we've solved who is the Shadow Man. So we can't learn who the demon is or how to get to the demon until that happens. And this set of cards is pretty much the cards that Harry's going to have for the entire game. Yeah, that's the crazy part. You do have more cards to draw, but drawing them is pretty rare. This advantage card right here, Beer at Max, says when taken, the active player can draws 1 card and distributes 2 card draws to other players. That is an incredibly powerful card for this game because you don't get to draw additional cards. So I'm going to get our hands set, and we're going to play a number of rounds. I'll probably play the whole game. It's not typically long. It's about 30 minutes or so. I'm very likely to lose, and I'm very likely to play some poor strategies because I haven't played it that much yet, though I'm starting to get the idea. Anyway, as I said, you can play through the Stormfront scenario, and then you can go on to the next one. So, for example, after Stormfront, you can play, I think I have these out of order. Got to remember, I don't think it's Grave, or it's a Full Moon is the next one, where you have to take on a Loot Guru or a Lycanthrope werewolf type creature. It's pretty neat. And you can play with the same characters. There's also a bunch of other characters from the books, like Billy, and if I was playing a 4-player game, I'd be playing with them. Billy and Georgia, which are 2 werewolves. Molly Carpenter, who's one of my favorite characters from the books. And she's really neat. Mouse, one of my all-time favorite characters from the books. He's what they call a big foo dog. He's basically a magical hound. He's pretty neat. They call him Mouse, but he's massive. Then there's Thomas Wraith, who is Harry's half-brother, who is also a vampire. Waldo Butters, who's a forensics guy who ends up with some interesting abilities if you read the book. And then you get into some of the less known ones, like Sonya, who's another Knight of the Cross, and some of the White Council folks that are part of the game. And, you know, later on there might be more. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to get the cards draws out, get that ready, and we'll play a few rounds. Okay, I got their cards ready. So, for example, you can see some of the different ones for Karen Murphy. So she's got this call for backup where she gets to call on some police folks. That's her take advantage card. Again, cost her 1 fate. She's got some pretty good investigation cards with good range on them. So that's real important. You see she's got her detective work and interrogation here. Both of them have some special effects. Her Deadeye shot in and another. So she's loaded down with investigations. That's good because that's the way you win is you have to have more investigations solved than you have enemies and that on the board. That's kind of the way you score. And you have one last chance during the showdown to clear as much as you can before you're done. And then you got, this is Michael Carpenter's Divine Revelation. That's one of his investigations. His Fist of God helps him to overcome obstacles. We'll probably use this one fairly quickly, and I'll tell you why. Then he's got his some of his combat abilities and his advantage abilities. Now we're going to be spending a lot of time getting more fate. Harry's ability to get more fate and pull the cards up closer or further back is really critical. So I can't tell you how important that is. Like the Shadow Man right now is way back here in the back, range 6. We're going to have to move him up. Also, our other advantage card is way in the back. So we got to do some things there. However, you know, Harry's got some good stuff that he can do, and I don't want to waste his attacks or anything like that. I don't think he's going to. A lot of his stuff is range 1. So, give you an example. Here's his cards. We got his Pyro Fuego, which is a fire attack that he's got. Does 4 hits and has a range. He can hit anything. That's the one that adds all the hits to everything. Insulting Costume. Now, see again, if you know the books, you'll understand the reference. But if you don't, you don't, and it just becomes a card that's kind of meaningless except for the stats, right? Anyway, it's 3, but you have to roll to see if you get more or less range. And it allows you to take an advantage, but also if you roll a range 4, you must spend an additional fate point. In other words, it gives you a big bonus there. Fuego, that's one of his big fire attacks. It's not my fault that he says that a lot in the books. And then you saw the rest of them. Is rifle, yeah. Okay, there you go. Those are his cards. So in the beginning, we're going to see, I think what we're going to do first is probably, we got to get... yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to burn one of his cards. It's probably going to be his Not My Fault card because I think Karen Murphy and Michael Carpenter have a better range to be able to take care of these, and they will very quickly. So we're going to take his Not My Fault card. It's going to generate 1 fate, and that's not that big a deal. So we discard that card. That's gone. He can't use it again. But in getting this fate point from this pool to here, we also, let me just square up here a little bit. There you go. We also get his special ability. When you discard for fate, you may move 1 obstacle or advantage card forward or backwards. So he is going to do that, and I'm debating, does he move this Beer at Max closer, or does he move the Shadow Man closer? He can move, let me see, he can move obstacles or advantages, so he actually can't move the Shadow Man, but he can move this. So I think he's going to take Beer at Max and move it forward in that so he can grab it next turn. And that's basically a turn. So you can see it goes very quickly, and you burn through these cards pretty quickly, so you got to be careful. But we got a lot of fate we can spend, and we're going to, because Karen Murphy is going to get on her motorcycle and overcome one of these obstacles. Now it's got a range 3, but you can see here that it also requires that we roll a die. So I'm going to get out the die, 2 dice actually. And it's going to either add to the cost of the fate, or lessen it. We'll see. So it actually ended up nothing. So it cost us exactly 3 fate to play this card. So we're going to take 3 fate from the pool. We're going to move it over here, and then we're going to get to play her card, overcome 1 obstacle. Okay, and we're going to overcome this one. says until this obstacle is overcome, all attack costs plus 1 fate. Now, this card is now solved, so it goes here. It's not a solved case, it's a book discard, so it's going to discard way up there at the top, and then we're going to slide all these cards down, and that's how we get them out closer to us to attack. And then that means that her card now is discarded. Again, that is her entire turn. Pretty interesting, right? So it's fairly straightforward. And now we're going to take Michael's turn as well. We're going to get rid of all the obstacles on the bottom row. So we're going to play his obstacle. And it says overcome 1 obstacle, add 2 clues to any case and 2 hits to any foe adjacent to the target. Well, he's got 2. He doesn't have 2 case or enemies, but he has 2 cases. So that's going to be very effective. So we're going to spend that. It's going to cost 4. So 1, 2, and we're 3, 4. Now we're low on fate. So one of the things, if you run out of fate, it causes an endgame scenario. So you got to manage that. But we're going to do this too. So we're going to get to put 2 investigations on the Who is the Shadow Man card and 2 investigations on Ritual Double Murder. And this one requires 10 and this one requires 11. And then this will go. That is now solved, and we get to push these up. So we're going to get to do some fighting soon too. Now, so far, by the way, that's been a pretty good set of rounds. That's 1 full turn for me. And you kind of get an idea how it goes. It's a very, very simple game, actually, in execution. And again, to me, it's cool because I know the story of Stormfront and how this plays out towards the story. And they all have their different cards and nuances that are part of that story. And maybe at the end of this, I'll show what that looks like as well. But anyway, we're going to go back around to Harry now. Now, there's not a lot of fate in the pool, so we need some fate. And I am really reluctant to give up some of his, like he's got 1 really beefy investigation card. But it's only range 1. However, look, I could get 5 or I could get 7 clues on that. So I think what we're going to do is burn his, yeah, we want this, I think we're going to burn, he's got 3 of these purple cards. I think we're going to burn his insulting costume because I don't think he's going to need it. And he, again, is going to gain fate back. It's going to bring 2 fate back into the pool for us. And he gets to make a shift on something. So he's going to take this card here, this advantage card, because he can do that or an obstacle. And he's going to push it forward here, giving us an easier chance of getting to it. And that's going to be his turn. So he generated some extra fate for us there. You can see how the flow of the game goes now, right? So let's take some. Let's see what is Karen Murphy going to do. So in this one it says the speed potion that you can get at max bar. It says when taken, active player draws 1 card, then immediately takes another turn. You may move Kalshazak to the furthest range. See, I don't think I want to do that because I'm going to be able to, if I can solve this, which is right in front, I can attack Kalshazak and kill him. So I don't know that I want, it says you may, so you don't have to do it, but she could get that. She just does have, well, now her card is only range 2, so she's going to have to solve some cases first. Now, here's the problem. There's 4 in the pool. That means Michael will have to generate some fate if we use one of her cards. And she does have a good one. It's this one here. It says 2 clues. It says if investigation solves the case, draw 1 card. So we're not going to do that yet because we're ways off from solving it. We could do this one, but this could end up 5 and could really hurt us. See, because we have to roll 2 fate dice, but it only puts 2 clues and it's got a range of 3. So I can hit both of these and that would be really good. So anyway, I'm really thinking about how I want to play this out. She might just get some fate. It's very possible because I'm really reluctant. She's got a 4. Well, she could use. I don't want to waste her draw a card one. This one says it's 5 fate though, so we really know we can't do that yet. If investigation solves target case, add 3 clues to any 1 case. That's very good as well. So I almost don't want her to spend one of these cards, but we do need to. We could generate some fate or attack something. She's got good range. She could attack the giant scorpion for 9. But again, it all costs fate. I think what we're going to do, yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to burn one of her attack cards. Surprise Aikido move. Yeah, she's a martial artist as well. she's going to get four fate points back into the pool. Now, when you're collecting fate, you don't roll the die. You just collect it. So that's going to add another 4 for Karen Murphy, and that's helpful so that we can actually do some things. Nothing's changed. Now, the board is not, it doesn't react, it doesn't do anything unless we take an action. So that just shows you how easy, or how you manage the game. Anyway, I think what we're going to do is we're going to play one of Michael's clue cards. I think we're going to play his Divine Revelation. It's going to cost 5 fate, and we're going to roll a die, so it costs 5 because we rolled nothing on there. And we're going to add 5 clues onto who is the Shadow Man. So it's at 7 right now, and that was a range 1, so that's why I did it there instead of on the other one. That's going to be discarded, and as you can see, we only have 7 cards each to play against this, so you have to be very, very careful. But now we're back around to Harry. Now Harry's going to take something. He's going to do something easy. He's going to play his Ventus Servatus, or Servatus, and it's going to be cost 1 fate only. So we're just going to take 1 fate there. Wait, did I spend the fate? I did, right? Hold on. Did I spend the fate? Because I brought a bunch of fate over. I don't think I did. No, I had to have. No, because there was fate in here, so I didn't. 2, 4, 5, and then we got 1 more. So there. Now we're correct, and we're going to do this. I may have to go back and check that. I may have spent the fate talking too much, not paying attention. Anyway, we are going to get that card spent, and we're going to take Beer at Max, which is going to, it's an advantage. It says when taken, active player draws 1 card and distributes 2 card draws to other players. So I think what we'll do is we're going to put that in there. He gets to draw a card, which is going to be Lash's Gift. It's an overcome, so we'll probably just generate fate with this. And then he's going to distribute those to the other players. So Karen Murphy's going to get to draw a card. She gets her badge, another overcome card, which is not helpful. And Michael Carpenter gets his Sanctified Strike card. So there, we got 3 cards in there, and then this row goes upwards. Boom, okay. Now, it's Karen's turn. And I believe she's going to just dump this card for a fate point. Now, her special is when you discard for fate point, add 1 clue to the case in the longest range. So she's going to add a clue to Victor is missing, and that's a 9.1. So that's what her special ability is. Now, we didn't talk about her stunt. Her stunt is, as your turn, flip this card to collect 1 fate point for each foe with hits and each case with clues. So once we get a lot of that going, we're going to use that. And then Michael's actually, his talent is really interesting. His talent starts unready. It says when you discard for fate, which I actually did. No, he did not do that yet. Or did he? No, he did not do that. Yeah, he did not. So when he discards for fate, he gets to flip this over, and it gives him special ability to add 2 damage to an attack. So we'll get there. And then as part of his turn, I can flip this card over to add 3 hits to any 1 legal foe that has no hits on it. So when we first start attacking, I will use this. This is using his Holy Sword. So that's where we're at for him. And like I said, we generated some fate for Karen. That's her turn, and she got to place a clue. Now with Michael, we only have 3 fates, so we can't do a whole lot. There's only 1 advantage left on the board. So I think what we're going to do is see if I can get this one up. I'm going to keep this one because I can get that advantage. It says take 1 advantage, add 2 clues to any case and 2 hits to any foe adjacent to the target. So it's another good one, similar to his overcome one that he did. But I'm not going to attack anything yet. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to burn this Faith Protects card and generate 2 additional fate for his turn. That's going to be his turn. Let me go back to Harry. Harry, what's he going to do? See, all his stuff was only range 1, but it's pretty powerful. So I think he's going to do a Soul Gaze. Now, Soul Gaze is a really neat thing in the story where 2 wizards, if their eyes meet, they get to actually see what their soul and their spirit, the essence of their magic is like. It can be really devastating to look at supernatural beings with the Soul Gaze in the stories. Pretty neat. Anyway, this is going to generate 5 fate and could generate enough clues to solve who is the Shadow Man. So I'm going to put that right there for now. and we're going to get to roll 2 dice and add that. So let's spend the fate first. So our fate pool is currently empty, and so it nullified. You got a +1 and a -1, so it ended up being 5 clues, which is enough to defeat this case. So this comes off, and it says the until solved cannot add hits to Shalsazak. So now we can. We have stopped who is the Shadow Man, or we solved it. Now you see that this also affects C, because when solved, add 3 clues to who is the Shadow Man, but we don't need to do that anymore. And B, it says you can move Shalsazak to the furthest range. It shows you how they connect. Now, a solved case goes up to here, and then all this stuff moves forward. And you can see we're clearing the bottom row pretty well, but not the top row. That's going to end Harry's turn. We're going to discard his Soul Gaze card. And then we're going to Karen. Now, Karen can start fighting, but we have no fate in our pool. And she's got the best investigation cards around. But, because the more, if we get all the investigations out and clear some of the monsters, we win. But that's pretty hard to do. Anyway, I think what she's going to do for now, because we definitely need some fate. She's got some other clue cards that are pretty good, but I think we're going to discard this one here in the know, and she's going to use that to generate 3 fate points. So there's 3 fate in the pool. And then Michael Carpenter, what's he going to do? Let's see, he can do a Sanctified Strike, but that could end up costing more than 3 fate, and we don't want to go into the Showdown. So I think what he'll do is, well, he can do this now. So it says he can, that's 4 fate, so he's going to have to get some fate in there first in the pool. Harry's going to add some fate. You can always pass at the cost of 1 fate in the game. So you can do that in the hopes that something else happens that's a little better. But we know he's not going to spend this, so we're going to dump that for a fate point. That gives us 4 in the pool. And then we're going to go to Harry. And remember, when we discard for fate, we can ready this. So we now have his ability. It says, you may flip this card over to give the card you play this turn +2 range. So we can hit something farther away. Not really helpful at this point, but I'll take it. Okay, so Harry, he does have the ability to take that advantage, but I want Michael to do that. So I think he too is going to burn this for some fate. So he's going to dump that. We're going to get 2 more fate in the pool. And again, I don't know if I'm playing that wisely or not, but you know, this does allow us to bring this forward. I don't think I'm going to leave it where it is, actually, and leave that alone. So we're going to go to Karen Murphy's card. And let's see. So we could start to do some attacking. Actually, so we know that we're going to get rid of this card because we know we're not going to use it. She's going to dump that for another fate point. We're building up our fate pool. And then we're going to go to Michael, who is going to use... Now, when it says when you discard for fate, add 1 clue to the furthest case. So we've got to add that there. We've got to remember to do that. Now we're going to play this Family Man, Take Advantage. It says 4, it's range 2. So we're going to do this. We're going to take this... we're going to take this advantage. When active, player draws 1 card, then immediately takes another turn. So that's awesome. So we're going to put that there. We're going to draw another card. It's going to be a Prayer Overcome card, so he's probably going to dump that. And then it says, on this, it says to add 2 clues to any case, or 2 hits to any foe that's adjacent. So when we drew that card, there was 2 clues and a foe. So now we have 2 more clues here. 2 hits here on this one, and 2 here on this Ritual Double Murder as a result of the special on this card for Michael Carpenter. Now he immediately gets to take another turn, but I got to spend his fate for that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to then, for his next turn, well, you know what he could do? This is moved up. We could start to get some enemies out of the way. We got 3 fate now. That's a risk. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to spend this Overcome Prayer card for his extra turn to gain another fate back in the pool. And that's going to be it for that. Now we don't have anything to overcome, so Harry is going to take 3 fate and put it into the pool as well. And he discards that. Now we got some fate going on there, but we're running out of cards. Harry only has 2 cards left as an example. So here's what we're going to do. we're going to start to, well, I got two choices. I can play a big giant hit, but we're not. I don't know if we'll be able to defeat anything. If I get a 6, I might be able to defeat Marcone's goons. So I can defeat Marcone's goons unless I roll a negative. And that would also then, if the attack defeats the target foe, add 2 hits to any foe. So I think we're going to play that. It's going to cost 5, so there's 2, 4, and 5. So you see that, or that's range 3. We're not going to need range 3. We only need range 2. And we're going to do that. So it's going to give her 2 dice. Hopefully it does enough to kill it. A +1, so it did, because that gave it 5. So there's 7 right there. So we got lucky. When defeated, remove 2 clues from is Marcone involved. We don't have any clues on that. So this is now defeated. That is awesome. And we don't have to worry about that guy anymore, and we just got this 1 clue there. Did cost us a whole bunch of fate though, but we're going to discard that card. Now, don't forget that if the attack, sorry, family's calling me for dinner. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. Had some nice dinner with the family. Now I'm going to continue our play. So we got to wrap this card up. It says if attack defeats a target foe, do 2 hits to any other foe. We're going to do 2 hits to Kalshazak, the Toad Demon. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, we did do that. Okay, yep, we're good. Okay, Kalshazak has been hit for 2 from her. Now it's Michael Carpenter's turn. We do know that Murphy is going to be able to do her investigation to win this card, so I'm not too worried about that. So I'm thinking, because we need some fate in the pool, I'm thinking we're going to do this. So he's going to burn that card for 3 fate, and then actually take it back. He's not going to do that. He's not going to do that at all, actually. He's going to do this. As your turn, flip this card over to add 3 hits to any 1 legal foe that has no hits on it. Because this will get us, when we get to the showdown, you'll see why that's important. Then move that card to the furthest in the row. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to flip this card over, so he's used it, and we're going to put 3 hits on the giant scorpion. It doesn't say then you may, or do you have to? I got to remember. Then move, so this card is going to go all the way down to the end, and that's okay. That's okay, because I was able to put 3 hits on it, and that was important. All right, so he still has 3 cards left. Now I go back to our wizard. Let's see, can he kill anything? No, not yet. So I think, he's going to have to save up for some fate points. So I think he's going to burn his Fuego attack, this one, for 4. All right, he's going to put 5 fate points up in the pool. He's only got 1 card left, so there's 3, 4, 5. Karen Murphy is, man, we got to get some more stuff out here. Let's see. So if the investigation solves the case, add 3 clues. Well, we're not going to solve a case, that's for sure. And so, but we can probably, with Michael in play, can probably defeat something. Well, let's see. I think maybe she'll pass. I'm debating on whether or not she passes. Hard decision, because I don't know if I want to spend the fate, to be honest. Well, I don't think it's going to make any difference, because I don't think we can. Well, see, that's 11. It's only got 4. So we need 7. I could get 7 if she played this, and then we could do it. So, okay, I think we're going to play that card, so it's going to be 3 plus 1 for the cost of 3. Oh, you know what though? That's the one that if the investigation solves it. Well, it could if we do that. No, it's not. She's going to pass. She passed. Because what we're going to do next is Michael is going to play this for 3 at a range of 1. So it's going to be cost 3, so boom. And then we'll add 3 clues onto this here. So it's 2, 3. That gives us a 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now she might be able to pull it off. Then we go to Harry. Now there's only 3 left, so does he do his add 2 hits to all foes? That would be pretty effective, except he can't. So if he passes, however, we're down to the wire. So he's going to pass as well. It's going to put 1 there. And then what Karen's going to do is she's going to discard this for 4. So we get 4 fate back. Michael, let's see. He can... Man, we got like 3 cards left. Can I get enough to get all 3 cards out? Maybe. Maybe. Okay, what he's going to do... I'm not going to be able to defeat any of these guys, but he's going to burn this card for 5 fate. Now, I'm going to tell you why. We got a lot of fate to pull now. Each person has 1 card left to play. So Harry, I go to Harry. He's going to play this for 4. So there goes 4 back. And he's going to play it on that top row. It says, hits, add 2 hits to all foes in row 1. So, in 1 row, rather. So there's 2 there, 2 on the Shadow Man, and 2 on the Giant Scorpion. So that actually is going to help us in our showdown. You'll see why. Then he's going to discard that. Now, so if we play another 5, I'm not going to have a lot in the pool. I think we got everything has something on it that's pretty good. We could solve this. That'd be really helpful. So I think she's going to attempt to solve it. So it's 3, 4, 5. It leaves only 2 fate in the pool. But if she gets a good roll here, she does. She got 4 points, which is enough. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's enough to defeat the double murder card. And we completed that investigation. So we investigated that. It goes in our pool here, and this card gets discarded. Now we're down to 1 card left. Oh, it says, so if... Actually, we're going to have another card because it says if this investigation solves the target case, add 3 clues to any 1 case. So we're going to add them to... we're going to add them to this one, I guess. See if we can solve that next turn. So that's her card. Now, we didn't get to use Harry's. Harry still could use his attack even though he's out of cards. But I think what we're going to do, we can't defeat anything, because that's only going to give us 3. There's really nothing we could, even at the Kalshazak, we can't actually kill him. He's got 8. There's 4. That would be only 7. So he's going to turn that in for 3 more fate. Harry's going to use this as your turn. Flip this card over and add 4 hits to any 1 foe that will be defeated. So he's going to use his blasting rod on Kalshazak. So 4 and 4 is going to kill Kalshazak. So we might have actually won this. We'll see. We'll see. It's going to be really tight. But we're out of cards, so we're automatically going to go into the showdown now. So how does that work? Well, let's pull this card up here. So we get to attempt to solve every single one of these cases that we have by spending fate. So if we spend it on a foe, if we spend 3 fate on a foe, we're going to get yeah, let me think about this. I want to see how we want to do this, and I'll explain it. Okay, so the good news is that each of our... I'm going to focus on the action, actually, because this is going to make a big difference. We have a total of 5 fate points left. Now, what I can do, if I spend no fate points... Now, this one I can't do anything with. It cannot be touched because I did not get any clues on it. But on this next case here, I can spend up to 4 fate points to get 3 automatic hits and then roll 6 dice. So maybe even solve it. There's 2, 3, 4, 5. That give me 8 hits out of 9. I think we're going to do that. It's going to cost 4 of the fate, though. But that's our best odds of winning. And then we're going to roll 6 dice. So, I mean, we're going to get to roll on all the cards. But let's see what we get here. 2, 4, 6. here's our 6 dice. Now let's hopefully, if we get lucky, we got another 1. So what we got was 5 total, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we did actually get the ability to solve that. We managed to solve this one. Oops, got some hits mixed in there. Boom. Okay, and then now we go on to the Shadow Man. Now the Shadow Man, we don't have, we only have 1 fate left. So I think I'm just going to roll 6 dice and see what we get. Even though we have 1 actually. This will be the first time I've won. So, but we're going to roll, yeah, we're going to roll, sorry, 6 dice, no bonus, just the 6 dice. Wow, actually went down 1. So we actually lost 1 on that one. And then on the Giant Scorpion, we're going to spend our 1 fate. That's going to give us 1 point. So it's now at 2, 4, 5, 6. God, and we lost that one too. So we didn't get it. Now, how do we win? Scoring is this. The player's score is the number of cases solved. The game score is the number of foes that are still on the board. So we have 2 foes on the board, but we have solved 3 cases. So if the player's scores higher than the game than the games they win, otherwise they lose. So basically, they'd had 2 and I had 3, so we won the game. That was the first time I've won, and I think I barely won that. And this would have cost me had I tried to not do that first one. We spent all our points on that first lucky one to get that 3rd case in there, and that's what did it for us. So we were able to solve that, and for the first time win the game. But it's a really tough game. I played it several times through, and that's the first time I've won it. So glad I got to do that on film. Let me know what you think, guys. This is it. Now, going back to what I was talking about, as you can see from the gameplay, it's got some neat artwork on it. If you're a Harry Dresden fan, you'll get it. But if you're not, I don't know. It's a fun game. It's challenging. It's a good cooperative experience. If it didn't have the Harry Dresden theme, would I be interested in it? I don't know. I think there's much more. Again, it's only a 30-minute game too, which is neat. It doesn't take that long. But and there's all the different ones to go through. So I've only played this one so far because I wanted to beat it before I moved on to the next one. So I will get to move on to Full Moon now and see how that plays out. Maybe I'll do that with you guys as well. But in the meantime, tell me what you think of the Dresden Files Cooperative Card Game. Tell me what you think of the mechanics. I may have made a couple little mistakes, but I don't think I did. I did pretty well with it. It's not a very complicated game. And I think it'd be more interesting if you had 4 minds working on each of your characters' progressions. And I'm sure, now, I can tell you one of the reasons that this went so much better for me than the last ones I played is because some of the cards were these 2 cards, for example, in the last time I played were way in the back, and I had a hard time getting to them. This one was also toward the back, which the one that gave us extra cards. And I think the one to be able to attack Shalsazak was like in spot 5 or something. Made me have to spend a lot more time moving everything up into range so we could actually get at it. But anyway, guys, that is the Dresden Files Cooperative Card Game. We played the first book, Stormfront. And if you are wondering, well, what does this mean? What is this demon and stuff? Guys, I highly recommend reading the books. If you don't like to read, I think every one of them has been done in a audio series by I can't remember the actor's name. Marsden. He was on Angel and Buffy, the white-haired vampire dude. He was also on something more. Anyway, he does the voice portion of the audiobooks. Really, really good. So if you're really interested in these, and I highly recommend them, read the books, because then you'll get what just happened and why some of these things played out the way they did. And by the way, they're just good books. So if you enjoy them, if you enjoy fantasy fiction, it's like an adult Harry Potter with an investigative type, mystery type flair to it that's pretty neat. So that is the Dresden Files Cooperative Card Game by Evil Hat Productions. It is, again, 1 to 5 players, ages 13 and up, takes about 30 minutes. So guys, thanks, and I'll talk to you next time.